Hello, everybody. Welcome back to TJK. This is our second episode on one-on-one with TJK. And Zoom does this thing about me because I'm still learning how to do this thing. We will post this on our TJK Foundation, the YouTube channel, where we learn and unlearn. And in this series of one-on-one, we promise to bring you amazing people. In a typical fashion, you wouldn't see that person right now, but in our TJK, we are transparent and open. Our guest today is Jennifer Nantale. Jennifer Nantale will tell more about herself and her amazing work she's done with so many different organizations and passions she has. But in this capacity, Jennifer Nantale is the country director for Nyaka Foundation in Uganda. She's been in this role for 12 years. Babies who were born when Jennifer started are now in P5, P6, and still growing. She has taken the organization from that infancy stage to adult stage. We joke that Nyaka is now 21. It's an adult organization, and Jennifer, you are the woman who has taken that mantle, taken the challenge of building a secondary school, taken the challenge of managing people in rural Uganda, taken the challenge of no technology, but you've taken all that with class, with professionalism, and built an amazing organization in Uganda. So many of you who always go, Jackson, CEO of Nyaka, the work you do in Uganda, today you get to meet the woman who has done it and done it behind the scenes and continue to do this work for the children, grandmothers, and communities we serve. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Jennifer Nantale. Welcome, TJK.
Thank you, Jackson. It's an honor and a privilege to be on the TJK series. Yes, it has been 12 years and it has been an amazing journey. And I want to thank Jackson for, I always say, it's great to join a man in his dream. And we do not take it for granted. And yeah, I look forward to sharing more. Thank you.
Wonderful. So we have 3 questions for all the guests that we'll be hosting. Those 3 questions are not to only limit you on what you can say and share, but we want to guide the young people. There's lots of mentorship going on. We have young people who look at Jennifer, look at Jackson and go, how did God just create these amazing people and drop them in this world to do the work they do? So the first question I ask you is, what would you advise your younger self? If you went back to 18 to 21, those years when where you were, what advice would you give yourself, given what you know now?
The advice that I would give to my young self, I'm trying to think back 18, 19. I was just joining university. Yeah. And the advice I would give myself at that time is believe in yourself and also believe in God. Yeah. I have had the privilege of raising 2 wonderful girls, my nieces, and I used to tell them, because I was young when I was raising them, they actually don't call me auntie. And I used to tell them, you need 2 things to go through this life: God and books, education. So I always advise my young self about, first of all, having the faith, but also sticking to the books. When I was in first year, I was given an opportunity to be a model. I actually auditioned, took photos, and was just about to sign. And then I remembered my mother who had sacrificed so much. And I chose books, I chose education. So even now, I would advise myself to continue learning and learning every day, to continue educating myself, but also to always ask God for guidance. And the other thing that I would advise to my young self is to have as many friends as possible, especially when you're young. The friends we make when we are young are the friends that will take you through life. And these friends, they're the people who saw you when you were nothing.
Yes.
And when you get to my age, which is very old, by the way, and you have a few of those friends,
Yes.
it's a very good time in your life. These are friends who will always connect you to a job, connect you to an opportunity, connect your children to an opportunity, people who will look out for you, people who will just call to find out if you are okay. Yes. So your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
For me, whenever I need something, sometimes I don't pay for it. People see me with things and they think I paid for them. But most of the things I get are from my friends. So as a young Jennifer, and even as an older Jennifer, I would advise you, make friends and make good friends, because your net worth is worth your network. So somebody once said you can travel from here to Rwanda and you will never pay for a single hotel. Why? Because all the people you are friends with and went to school with are along that trip, and everybody will say, can you stay here? Can I pay for your food? Can I,
Yes.
So always make sure that while you're getting this success, you have your friends around you, because it's very lonely up there when you finally get there. And you need to have people around you to enjoy a cup of tea, or to enjoy a glass of wine, or even just to take a walk. And the last thing that keeps me, and also that I keep telling young people, and that I've told my young self, and I learned from a very young age, is integrity. You can get all the PhDs that you want, and get employed. But what will keep you in employment and what will keep you in society is integrity.
Yes.
Always make sure you're doing the right thing, even when no one is looking. That is very important, and it will open doors. It will take you places you have even never dreamt of. People will always think about you and call you, even when you're not in the room, because they can trust you, because you have integrity.
Yes. See, the reason I love these one-on-ones, number one, is to bring a different perspective. But number two is to open this knowledge that lives in our hearts. You and I have taken children from primary school who are now employed, who are getting married, who have children. Every day I get, whether it is a messenger on Facebook, whether it is a WhatsApp, and one of our children is somewhere in a different country working, happy, and they are thanking Nyaka for what they have done. So these nuggets you've just shared here, even if none of the people around the world gets to hear them, our alumni and pioneer students who are now working need to know this. Believe in yourself, believe in God. The prayers that their grandmothers and community members send for them will be in vain if they are not praying for themselves. And every young person who is listening, or any other person, there are people who are our age who are still looking and can't find their passion, can't find where they learn. So here is Jennifer's wisdom. Believe in God, believe in yourself. I never knew you were going to be a model. Here we are earlier in July launching the Nyaka models, grandmother's modeling, and our prospective model didn't even model. Now we know. Nyaka staff who are listening, a model coming up to train other models, but I'm so glad you chose books. I think if you had ended up with models, Nyaka organization and communities will never have gotten you to come and serve and work the service leadership you've done. Making friends and keeping them, I can testify to you, you've seen this with me, the people I grew up with, some of the people who were born the same night I was born are still my good friends. I've told Nicholas, my oldest, who is in college now, that the friends you make now will be the friends you will have. The older you get, and I'm older than you, the older you get, the lonelier it becomes, the harder you get friends. But also for you, amazing young people listening, the more you become successful, it's harder to define whether somebody is becoming friends with you for who you are, what you are doing, but the genuine, I care about you, Jackson, I know you have more money than me, but let me buy you a Coca-Cola. Let me take you out and pay for the meal. Those are genuine people who are not just saying each time I'm with you, you are the one paying. And when Jennifer talks about things that people send her, I can testify I've carried lots of stuff for Jennifer. People mail me things and go, are you going back to Uganda? Yes, here, please, take this for Jennifer, take this for Jennifer's boys. And so your integrity, your trust, your network is your net worth. That's a tweetable moment. Oprah always, when she talks about tweetable moments, I'll get out of here and I'll make it a status and I'll make it a tweetable moment. Thank you for sharing those nuggets. And now to our second question. How did you know to find your passion and follow your passion? And specifically here, I'm gearing towards your love and support of a girl child. I know you raised 2 of your nieces, but I've seen you mentoring, modeling, encouraging girls, even when we've had girls who got pregnant while they were still in school. Your modeling and mentorship kept them going to the extent that some of them have ended up now in Canada, in Dubai, in India, working happy without your support and touch and passion for girls' education. These girls wouldn't be where they are. How did you find your passion?
I kind of stumbled into my passion. My elder brother is a lawyer, so I thought I was going to be a lawyer. And so the time when I was trying to forge my career path, he looked at me and he goes, Jennifer, you can't be a lawyer. I don't see you being a lawyer. I don't see you burying yourself in books and doing law. That's number one. And then secondly, I don't see you going to court and twisting the truth. That's not you. So I asked him, is that what lawyers do? He said, yeah. And so you need to find something else. So I decided to pursue a career where I would interact with people. But even before then, my passion for helping girls and for my passion for women in general comes from a background of a woman helped me. First of all, my mother believed in me. That's number one. But I remember my destiny. My destiny was shaped just because we lived in a neighborhood where there was a parent who was a Gayaza girl, and her children were also going to Gayaza.
Yes.
And we were the poor family next to an affluent family. We were the family that was not speaking English. but the other family was speaking English. We were the family that didn't have books, but they had a whole library in their home of books. And so I used to go over there to play. And then when I got to P7, my mother was friends with the other mother. My mother was a tailor, so she used to tailor uniforms for this family. The two mothers became friends. So one day, my friend's mother tells my mom that, you know, Jennifer can get into Gayaza. I can get her into that school. But what she needs to do is she needs to read. So, right from when I was young, a woman helped to mentor me. A woman helped to hold my hand. And so it has been part of my life. So even when I went through school, I always looked out for an opportunity to help another girl. And this continued throughout my life. And so when it came to work, even when I was working, before I joined Nyaka, I had been working in refugee camps, in internally displaced camps, but I was always, you know, rooting for the women, for the girls. I was always working like on sexual and gender-based violence programs. In refugee camps, women would come to me, oh, the man got the food, but he went and sold it. So I was always advocating for women, always advocating that in the refugee camps, we have shelter because it's the women and the children who are suffering. So I found my passion in making sure that women and girls were in a better place, but also my love for education, and not only education per se, but education for the girl child. I come from a background where I have seen what education has done in my life. I come from a family of 9 children, 5 girls and 4 boys. And I can see what education did for me. And because I got the opportunity to be educated and to be mentored by so many people, especially women. I have like so many women in my life. I always tell people, I have many mothers. I've been mentored by so many mothers. I have a mom in Ginger. I have a mom here in Masaja. I have a mom. I have moms everywhere. Yes. And so whenever I see Nyaka girls, I see myself in them. And I see myself as the mom. And whenever I have the opportunity, I make sure that I give the girls a second chance. I make sure that they have what they need. Things like sanitary products are very dear to my heart because I suffered. I know, I've been there. And I know something as small as a sanitary product can discourage a girl and they can drop out of school. So if I can make that happen for this girl, I'll do it. If I can ensure that a girl joins Vancouver Island University, I will do it because I know that girl is going to have a ripple effect. Just you take one girl from one family and a whole family, a whole community will be transformed just by one girl. I love boys, but you know, things happen. But with a girl, she will divide every small thing that she has and make sure that a community, I don't even know how we multiply our money. You can look after your children, you look after the neighbors' children. I see it with our grandmothers.
Yes.
In Nyaka. They look after their own grandchildren, they look after the neighbors' grandchildren. Somehow, the pot of money for a woman never runs out. There's always room for one more.
Right. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. You know, I always say in these interviews, there's so much commonalities that brings us back to our mothers. But for those of us who are involved in Nyaka specifically, our audience has asked me on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Jackson, girls' education You have all these scholarships, you advertise, what about boys? And when you look what is the traditional way in a patriarchal society, where our fathers, specifically mine, would argue that a girl will get old and get married, so they need to invest in the boy. I have told my father, Eric Kagur, that that concept of a boy will stay with you is actually not a true statement. Look at me. I am the boy. We were only 2 boys and 3 girls. 1 boy died, the other girl died. The boy who died was living in Jinja, in Busoga, not even in the village, where traditionally men thought you build your hut next to your fathers, then you take care of them until they die. Your wife becomes the person who takes care of their in-laws. Homeboy Jackson, when I finished university, I am in the United States. 27 years later, I live in the United States. The longest time I've spent in the village since I left for university is 2 months this summer. It was not all in the village. You know who lives next to my father, who took care of my mother until she died? My sister, Faida. So, ladies and gentlemen who keep asking me, when you invest in a girl, you're not only investing in that one particular person. I am glad I got invested in. And I do as much as I can do. But think of that woman, think of her children, think of her children's children, the legacy they passed on. Even my grandmother, Marisa, who died many years ago, the staff grandmother, Jaja Mukaka, would sit down and tell me my grandfather never discussed those things with me. The encouragement, the sweet and the little things she would give you when you are going to school and how you valued it. That touch, we need it. And more we uplift girls. Next week, I'll be at United Nations attending United Nations Education Initiative for girls for the entire world. This is not a Uganda thing. This is not a Bangladesh thing. It is a world problem. Women have been left behind for so many years. When we uplift them, let's embrace it. Yes, we will also mentor boys how to be men. Yes, we'll mentor men how to be responsible men. But we need to uplift our girls and educate them. And when we hired you, I didn't know this. But as soon as you got into your position and started working, taking those trips to Kanungu where your mother would say, where is my child going? That touch on girls has transformed our children's lives, our communities. 20,000 grandmothers under your leadership, raising 86,000 children, 100 scholarships by Beautiful World Canada going to girls in Uganda. They changed the entire system so the entire scholarship can be managed by Nyaka under your leadership. Is all because of your hard work. So for girls who keep writing to me, please, I'm looking for a mentor. Jennifer Nantale presented to you. You've heard her. Read your books. And I'm also one of those who will testify that you will go in a retreat, on a trip with Jennifer. Her books are always with her. Learning does not stop. She continues to read. She got her education. Gayaza, a shout out to all of you, all Gayaza girls, who send this to you. You've done an amazing job. And to that neighbor of yours, your mother, who became a friend with your biological mother and got you to go to Gayaza, thank you, mothers. For all women who are listening to us today, there is a child next to your home. There is another Jennifer there who is waiting to go to Nabingo, to Gayaza, who is waiting to get that scholarship. You just invest and open a door, you're opening for the entire world and you are changing lives without even knowing it. I'm sure that mama didn't know that what she was doing was going to be that transformational. And you can see how passionate I am about this too, that I'm even talking more than the person I'm interviewing. Last question, Jennifer. We set this up to bring people who are getting into leadership roles management styles. There are so many management styles out there. Specifically for you, we hired you. You started managing people older than you, different cultural backgrounds, far away from you. You are in Kampala, they are in field offices. You still manage a lot of people, close to 120 employees in Uganda under your leadership. What's your management style, and how do you help others who work with you to learn and embrace that style?
My management style, I'm kind of a lazy manager. Lazy in terms of if there's a task to be done, I will make sure that the person knows what they are supposed to do. And then I will make sure that they are also aware that I'm available in case they need help. But at the same time, I also believe in training as we go along, learning, and I always say I'm the oil of the machine. I'm not the machine. So making sure that we are doing what we have agreed to do according to the money and the obligations that we have. But working with teams, because I believe when we hire people, we've hired the best, like Jackson always says. So I believe everybody is hired and they know their job. So I give them benefit of them performing, but also being available to help them when I can. And at the same time, I lead by example. I will not ask you to be at work on time if I'm not on time. And sometimes I have to hold back because I think sometimes I'm a perfectionist, but I try to lead by example as much as I can, because I cannot ask of you to do what I'm not able to do. So I always make sure that I try as much as possible to lead by example, and also to be a person of integrity. I've already mentioned integrity so many times.
Yes.
Like that whole idea of being able to do the right thing, even when nobody is looking. And I always tell the staff here that my boss sits in Michigan, USA, or wherever Jackson is globetrotting, but I try as much as possible to do what I'm supposed to do. I could easily slack, but I don't have that luxury to slack. So in the same way, I'm able to manage teams that are in Kanungu. I'm able to manage people who are older or from a different culture, because I try to be as professional as possible, and also to respect the people I'm working with, and to know that most of us people are in different places, but it doesn't mean because I'm country director, I know everything. I'm the country director, but I don't know everything. We are part of one body and we are all shooting in the same goal.
Yes.
If the driver doesn't drive, we are not going to get to where we are supposed to go. If the teacher doesn't teach, the children are not going to get taught. That's right. If somebody doesn't come and open the office. So I try as much as possible to make sure that everybody feels like. Otherwise, it's very easy to sit in Kutamba or wherever you are and think, oh, I'm here in my small place. If you don't work in Kutamba, Jennifer doesn't work, Jackson doesn't work, there is no Nyaka. So I try to lead in such a way that we are all part of the same team, the same body, and we're trying to shoot in the same goal. So each one does their part. If you're supposed to do this part, you do it. So I try as much as possible to make sure that we are like a family. We always call ourselves the Nyaka family, and that has really helped. try to celebrate birthdays, try to have light moments. And, you know, we spend hours with each other. So we really need to behave like a family. Yes, we have work to do, but it's never that serious. I mean, it's very serious, by the way.
No, your management style has helped a lot. You have the integrity part. I think when you said it the first time, I have said this, we could do actually a piece on believing in yourself, a piece in believing in God, integrity, managing teams from far. In tjkshares, one time I talked about how the challenges Nyaka faces and what I have faced as a person managing an organization from the United States located in Uganda. Dating back to when internet was not even a thing you would talk about, or cell phone, writing letters and sending money with Western Union on the bus. When we get to talking about books at some point, we'll have to talk more about this integrity, trust, but also relying on the people who are so far away, and also bringing them to that belief and understanding. When you lead together, micromanaging is not something we have done in Nyaka organization, because even if you wanted to micromanage, how do you micromanage when you're in the USA and somebody's in Nyaka village, in Tamba village? How do you micromanage a driver when you don't know the mechanics of driving? Oh, I am sleeping and he's driving. So we have relied on each other, trusted one another as a body. But I know you also are involved in other things. Young people who are mothers there might be going, how do you manage and take care of 2 boys? There are many questions. If we open this up for questions, people ask so much. So please, as we come to conclusion, because I know you have to also drive from Kampala, get back to your home to take care of those babies. What else would you like to share? What other things are you involved in? Passion? When do you rest? How do you rest? Yeah, that kind of stuff as we come to the end of this interview.
Yes, as Jackson has mentioned, I'm a Nalongos. That means mother of twins.
Hey.
2 twin boys. They are 2.5 years old, and yeah, it's tough being a mom and a working mom, but I think I was prepared for this. I've mothered so many children. So in my mind, I have just made peace with it and says, these are my babies. These are my babies. So when I'm at home, I'm at home. And most of the people, even Jackson sometimes misses, I miss calls from him, because when I get home, I'm really present at home and I'm there for the boys. And when I leave in the morning, I come and I'm here at Nyaka. I will check in with the boys at intervals, but I'm present here. So it's about balancing your time and trying to mute the mom guilt, which actually never goes away. The mom guilt is real. When I travel to the village in Kanungu, I do not sleep. And that is a fact. When I'm away from my children, from my baby boys, I do not sleep. But that is okay. I know they're fine. And also, in order for you to take care of yourself and your family, you set up systems, just like I set up systems at Nyaka. When I'm not at Nyaka, I know the system is working. When I'm not at home, I also know the system at home is working. Right. And back to what I said before, believe in God. I believe God takes care of my children when I'm not with them. I believe God takes care of Nyaka when I'm not with Nyaka. Other things I'm involved in, I'm also the vice chairperson on the Grandmothers Consortium in Uganda. This is a consortium that has NGOs, and we are mostly advocating for better things for grandmothers with government and with different things. I'm also the secretary for at an investment club that we've started for Gaza girls in my year. So I'm the secretary in that investment club. Yeah, so I do, so many organizations ask me here and there to be on their boards, but so far I have said no, because until my kids are a little bit older, because right now I feel like when I'm not with my boys, I'm at Nyaka. And when I'm not at Nyaka, I'm with my boys. So for now, that's what I'm doing. And thank God for Zoom. I can also do the other things like with the Grandmothers Consortium and with the investment club. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Nalongo, meaning mother of twins. And for those of you who were always wondering, how does Jennifer do it? Be present. When this is a lesson many of us could learn. Yes, we the men don't have the mom guilt. We have the dad guilt, and it can't be compared to mom guilt. Mothers, you are so special. You do so much. You balance so well. We thank you. We appreciate you. Be present when you're at work. Be present when you're at home, including put those phones away. Focus on your children. Play a game with them. Read with them. These are things we'll be talking about continuing, but today we were so blessed. Thank you for sparing time. Thank you for sharing all those nuggets. Episode 2, I don't think we got everything out, but for now, we appreciate you sharing this information. We will share it and let everyone know when it goes up. Thank you. Drive safely. Take care of your boys, and thank you for taking care of the entire village, entire generation of children who you have invested in now, and that investment will go forever in their lives. And these are boys and girls. Nyaka takes care of children, boys and girls. The grandmothers know Nalongo Jennifer. They call her Madame Jennifer. So she's Madame, the country director. She's Nalongo. She's a sister. She's the mother, and she takes care of business. Thank you. Have a good one. All of you, subscribe, share, comment. Let us know other people you want to hear from. Let us know other subjects you want us to cover. This is a free giving information. Whoever much is given, much is expected. God has blessed me to do this work, to share so much information with so many people, and so we give it for free so somebody else can also learn and take it to the next level. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.